In this video, we will walk through a complete demonstration of how an SOWPO and a PRSOWPO can be marked as short close, cancel, or completed, and how we can go ahead and close a project. We'll also be covering how an admin has the rights to reopen a closed project, and parallelly, admin can also reopen open a short closed or cancelled SOWPO and PRSOWPO. So let's first of all log in as the project manager. So we are logged in as the project manager. Let's click on the left-hand navigation panel, projects and my projects. So for demonstrating how we can go ahead and short close a PR SOWPO followed by the main SOWPO, we have already created one project called SOWPO short close. So I'll just open the project. So this project is of billing type TNM. I've already created one PR SOWPO on this project. And for this project, I've also raised a CBR, which is partially invoiced. So I'll just go back to project summary and then project commercials and to PRS to WPO screen. So here the basic prerequisite for marking a PRS to WPO as short closed is when the any in CBR is raised against this PRS to WPO. In that case, the CBR should be partially invoiced. So for example, in this PRS WPO, the SOWPO amount is 1000 and the allocated value is also 1000 and the invoiced value as we can see is 736. Uh, so the CBR which is raised using this PRS WPO is partially invoiced. So in this case we can go ahead and short close this PRS WPO. So once we just drag to the rightmost and we'll see this actions. So we'll be able to see one short close option. So as soon as we click on this short close, we'll be able to short close this directly because we do not have any active allocation in this project. So this is like short close straight away. If you do have an active allocation, so before if you're trying to short close any PRs or WPOs, in that case, you just need to go ahead and close any active allocations. So since now we have just submitted the short closer request, this will be routed to the customer account management team. So in that case, we'll just need to log in with CAM team member and approve this request. And after that, the request will be routed to the finance team. And after this, the status will be updated to short close. So we can see that this approval status is pending customer account management team approval and the PRS WPO final status is still in progress. So we'll be just logging in with CAM team to go ahead and approve this short closer request. So we are logged in as client partner, which is one of the members of the CAM team. Then we'll go to actions and then we'll go to PRS WPO approvals. So here for the CAM team, there are three tabs for going ahead and approving the PRGs or WPO request. The first one is addition request. So if a PRGs or WPO is added to a project after the project is approved, in that case, all the requests are routed to this tab. Then we have short close request. So whenever any short close request is being raised for any PRGs or WPO, in that case, all the requests are shown in the short close request bucket. And then we have cancel request tab. So all the cancellation requests for any PRGs or WPOs will be routed to this tab. So since we have raised a short closer request, so the first request in the grid is the one that we have sent for short closer approval. So CAM team can just go ahead and open the request and the CAM team can go ahead and just reject it or approve it. So we'll just go with the happy flow. So we'll click on approve and we'll just approve the short closer request. And after this is approved, this will be moved out of CAM team's bucket and this will now be routed to the finance team for final approval. So let us log in with finance team to finally approve this. And after this is approved by finance team, the PR's WPO final status will be marked as short close. So we are logged in as finance team. We'll click on home, actions, and then PR's WPO approvals. So here also for finance team, there are two tabs. The first tab shows all the short closer requests which has come in finance team's bucket for short closing the PRS or WPO. And the second tab is cancel request where all the cancellation requests for the PRS or WPOs has been routed to finance team for approval. So we'll just click on short close request and we'll just open the request we have just sent for approval. So finance team can also go ahead and just review the information of the entire PRS or WPO and can go ahead and either reject this or approve this. If they reject it, the PRS or WPO will still be in progress and will not be marked as short close. So we'll just go with the happy flow. We'll click on approved. We'll just enter the mandatory comments and click on approve. So since the request has been approved both from CAM team and finance team, so we'll just go back to the PM's login and we'll refresh the screen. We'll go to project commercials, PRS or WPO, and we'll check whether the PRS WPO has been marked as short closed. So we can see that the final status has been updated from in progress to short closed. Now, in a similar way, we can go ahead and short close the main SOWPO as well. So the prerequisite for short closing SOWPO is that the associated PRSOWPO should be short closed, and also the SOWPO can be marked as short closed either manually by the CAM team or by system automatically. So if the total SOWPO amount matches with the allocated PRSOWPO amount and we are short closing the PRSOWPO, in that case, the main SOWPO will be marked as short closed automatically by system. But in the case where the SOWPO total amount is not equal to the PRSOWPO allocated amount, that you are not allocating the entire SOWPO amount to a single PRSOWPO, and you are just short closing that SOWPO, PRSOWPO. So in that case, the main SOWPO needs to be manually short closed by the CAM team member. So for reference, in our case, the total SOWPO value was 1000 and we have allocated the entire 1000 to this PRSOWPO, and this PRSOWPO has been marked as short close. So if we go ahead and log in with CAM team, so in that case, the expected result would be the PRSOWPO short close. So the associated SOWPO should be marked as short close automatically by the system. So we'll just go and check. So we are logged in as line partner. We'll just go to SOWPO grid. And SOW 461 was the SOWPO ID which we have used in our project to create the PR SOWPO. So let us check the status for this, and we can see that the SOWPO final status has been marked as short close automatically by the system because the total SOWPO value matches the allocated PRSOWPO value and the PRSOWPO was short closed. So this is how you can go ahead and short close the SOWPO as well. Now again, we'll go back to project manager's login. So now we are back to the project manager's login. So we'll go ahead and see how we can go ahead and cancel a PRSOWPO followed by canceling a SOWPO. So I've already created one project which is SOWPO cancel for showing the cancellation scenario. So this project is a TNM project, and this project has an associated PRSOWPO. And also this project has an active resource allocation and CBR has also been raised for the same project, but the CBR has not been invoiced. So the basic condition for cancelling a PRS or WPO is that if you are raising any CBR against PRS or WPO, then the invoiced amount for this associated CBR should be zero, which means that the CBR should not be invoiced. So for this PRS WPO, we should be getting an option as cancel. So we can see that an option cancel has become available because the associated CBR is being raised, but nothing has been invoiced out of that CBR. So we just go ahead and click on cancel. But since this project has active resource allocation, so we just need to go ahead and release the resources from the project, and then we'll be able to go ahead and short close the PRS to WPO. So we'll just click on release and we'll just fill in the mandatory details for releasing the resource. This is all the mandatory information we have filled, and we just click on release and We have released the resource successfully from this project. So now we'll go back to project summary and we'll just try to again cancel this PRS or WPO since the allocations have been released out of this project. So we'll again click on actions, then cancel. So if I click on yes, in that case, the approval status changes to pending customer account management team approval, and the final status still remains in progress. So now we just need to log in with CAM team to go ahead and approve the cancellation request for this PRS or WPO. So I will be logging in with CAM team. So we are logged in as CAM team. We'll click on left hand navigation panel, actions, and then PRS or WPO approvals. Since this is a cancellation request, so we'll be navigating to cancel request. And this is the request we have just sent for the PRS or WPO cancellation. So we'll just open the request and we'll simply approve it. As soon as this is approved, this will be routed to finance team for final approval. So we'll just quickly log in with finance team. We are logged in as finance team, so we'll click on left hand navigation panel, actions, and then PRJS or WP approvals. Since this is a cancellation request, so we'll move to cancel request tab, and the first entry is the table we have just sent for cancellation. So we'll just go ahead and approve the PRJS or WPO cancellation request, and click on approve. So the request is approved successfully from both CAM team and then finance team. So we'll just go back to project managers login and we'll refresh the screen. We'll go to project commercials and now we'll check whether the status has been changed. So we can see that the PRS WPO final status has been updated to cancelled from in progress. So once the request is approved, this will be marked as cancelled. So now we can see how we will be able to cancel the SOWPO if the PRS WPO is cancelled. So if for a main SOWPO, if the total amount of the SOWPO matches the PRS WPO allocated amount and the PRS WPO is cancelled, so in that case, the associated SOWPO will be automatically cancelled by system. So in this case, since we have seen that for cancelling the SOWPO, the SOWPO total value is 1000 and the allocated value, which is the PRJ SOWPO allocated value is also 1000. So we have allocated the entire SOWPO amount in our PRJ. So in that case, the SOWPO which is associated should be automatically marked as cancelled. But if the total SOWPO value does not equal to the PRJ SOWPO allocated value, so in that case, the CAM team member needs to manually cancel the SOWPO. So now again, we'll go back to CAM team members login and we'll check whether the main SOWPO is cancelled or not. So we'll be logging with client partner. So we are logged in as client partner. We'll just click on SOWPO. So SOWPO 462 is the SOWPO we have for which the PRJ has been marked as cancelled. So we'll just navigate to the rightmost corner of the grid and we can verify that the SOWPO final status has been marked as cancelled automatically by the system since the SOWPO total amount was equal to the PRJ SOWPO allocated amount. So this is how you can go ahead and cancel a PRJ SOWPO and a SOWPO. Now, there's one more scenario that we need to witness, which is how we can go ahead and mark a PRS or WPO as completed, followed by how we can mark a SOWPO as completed. So I have just already created one project, which is SOWPO complete, to demonstrate you this scenario. So for this, the project type is TNM. I've already created one PRS or WPO for this. And I've also raised a CBR, which is invoiced. So the prerequisite for marking a PRS or WPO as completed is when the PRs to WPO allocated amount is equal to the total invoicing amount. So the entire value of the PRs to WPO has been invoiced. In that case, the PRs to WPO will be automatically marked as completed. So in this case, since the total allocated value was 1000, also after raising the CBR, the, the total amount has been invoiced. In that case, the PRG to WPO status will automatically be marked as completed. So we can see that the allocated value is 1000, the invoice value is also 1000. So in this case, this will be automatically marked as completed by the system. And the similar applies to the SOWPO as well. So if the SOWPO amount is equal to the PRSOWPO allocated amount and the entire PRSOWPO amount PO amount has been invoiced, in that case the main SOWPO will also be marked as completed. So since the PRSOWPO is marked as completed, we'll just go back to CAM team members login and we'll check whether the main SOWPO has been marked as completed or not. So we are logged in as client partner. Now now we'll go and check the SOWPO ID. So the SOWPO associated is SOWPO 463. So we will just slide to the right on the SOWPO grid and we'll check. So as we can see that the SOWPO final status has been marked as completed, since the PRG SOWPO is also marked as completed. So this is how you can go ahead and mark a PRG SOWPO and SOWPO on the system as completed. Now we will go back to the project manager's login and we can see that how you can go ahead and close a project. So I'll use the same project for which I have just shown you the completion scenario of a PRS to WPO. So for closing any project, the basic prerequisite is that there should be no active resource allocation, there should be no active task associated, and the CBRs also raised needs to be marked to invoiced. So for our for the project that we are referring to, we do have an active resource allocation and also there's an active task which we have, but the CBR that we have associated has been invoiced. So just let us go ahead and try to click on close project. So as soon as we click on close project, we see that there's an active resource allocation and a task is also active. So first I just need to go ahead and take action on closing the active resource allocation and then marking the task also as completed. So I'll just go ahead and release the resource out of this project and just quickly fill in the mandatory details. And I'll click on release. So we can see that the resource has been released from the project, and similarly we can go ahead and open the task and we can change the status of the task to completed, and we can also mark the task end date as today's date. So I'll just mark this task as completed. Now we'll go ahead and try to close the project again. So we'll just click on close project. Since there's no active resource request, there's no active resource allocation, and there's no active task in the project, so we will just again click on close project. And there's a prompt which is asking us if we are sure. So we just click on confirm. And we can see that the project has been closed successfully. So this is how project manager can go ahead and mark a project as closed. Now, additionally, we can also see that how an admin can open a closed project and can also open a short closed or cancelled SOWPO or PR SOWPO. So now let us go ahead and log in with admin. So we are logged in as admin. We'll just click on home, admin, and then we'll click on reopen project. So whatever projects has been closed, now admin has an option to reopen those projects. So we have marked this project as a WPO as closed. Just now we have seen the flow how to close a project. So admin has the right to go ahead and reopen this project. So for this, we just click on reopen and we'll click on confirm. So we can see that the project is reopened successfully and it is also moved out of the admin's bucket of reopening the project. So we'll just go back to PM's login, we'll refresh the screen and we'll again check the status of the project SOWPO complete. So we'll just open this project. And now we can see that the project status, which was marked as which was closed previously, now the status has been changed to in progress. And again, this project can be used further. Now, similarly to reopening a project, an admin can also reopen an SOWPO. So we have seen that we have just short closed and cancelled two SOWPOs. So admin has an option to reopen the cancelled SOWPO and any short close SOWPO as well. So we will just go ahead and reopen the cancelled SOWPO first. So we'll just click on yes. And we can see that the status has been successfully changed to in progress. So now let us log in as CAM team member to verify whether the status has been updated or not. So we'll just go to SOWPO. And we'll check the status of the SOWPO which we has cancelled. So SOWPO 462 was the ID and we can see that the final status has been changed from cancelled to in progress. So admin can also reopen a cancelled or short close SOWPO. Now similarly, if we'll go back and click on reopen PR SOWPO, so admin can also reopen a short closed and cancelled PR SOWPO as well. So the SOWPO cancel is the cancelled PR to WPO for which we have raised a request. We'll just click on reopen and we'll click on yes. So we can see that the PR to WPO status has also been changed successfully. So now we'll just go back to PM's login. We'll refresh the screen and we'll open this project where the PR to WPO is tagged. We'll go to project commercials PR to WPO and we can see that for which the previously the PRWPO status was marked as cancelled, but now since the admin has reopened it, so the approval status has become draft and the PRWPO final status is inactive. So if we go ahead and submit this PRWPO for approval to CAM team, then in that case, this can again be used in this project going further. So this is how an admin can go ahead and reopen a closed project. An admin can also reopen a short close or cancelled SOWPO and a PR SOWPO. So in this video, we have covered how we can go ahead and mark a PR SOWPO as short closed or cancelled, and similarly, the main SOWPO will be marked as short closed and cancelled, and also how we can go ahead and close a project, and how admin has the rights to reopen a project, a cancelled or short closed SOWPO and PR SOWPO. So that was it in this video. Thank you.